with me to outline the role of a life coach and how emotional intelligence, how EI can help you get to your goals that much faster. Because seriously, who has the time? Who has the time, right? It's Vicky Karunga. And to give us an intro into life coaching, Vanessa Akiwumi. Welcome to Double O Direct.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited about today, so thank you.
Tell me about yourself, Vanessa.
So I was born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya, and then I furthered my studies in the US, and I always knew I wanted to help people from the mental aspect. And so I studied psychology, and then I thought I needed to bring a more actionable step into psychology. So then I went towards life coaching. So whilst I was doing my degree, I decided let me just do the life coaching certifications at the same time, which was also US based. And then I came back and started my company. I work with from athletes that are professionals to just individuals who want to better their lives. And I think that's the most amazing job to have, is that you see somebody grow into a completely different person and live out their life purpose, which is just amazing and so rewarding for me.
I love that, Vanessa. And you know something, Vicky, what really popped out when she was talking is why she studied psychology, to help others. For me, it was to help myself.
Well, it was a starting point.
And that's why I need your EI. Tell me more about yourself, Vicky.
So I'm a product of the Kenyan education system.
Kidding.
I know, yeah. So in those days, you did a course, you had great grades, you went and did this other course, and I did it because I'm a creative, studied architecture, practiced architecture, but at some point I used to tell my dad I really just want to teach. And I didn't know what that meant, this thing, I just want to teach. But now I'm a teacher. So I studied EI largely from a self-awareness perspective. I do a lot of psychometric assessments as well from a self-awareness perspective. Because I think, as well as what you're saying, is that you have to look internally. You have to do a lot of work internally to understand yourself, not from a point of judgment, but from a point of knowing this is what I have to work with. It's giving me a certain impact that is not really getting me to where I want. So then how can I effectively use that data to make other decisions about what I will engage in or not, and make that difference in my life and in others' lives?
I'm going to just circle back, kidogo. Psychometric testing.
Yeah.
Which ones?
I've studied a lot. I've studied I'm a learner as well. So I get into rabbit holes and just go dig myself deep into them. I'm like, okay.
Are they that different? Do they all offer the same kind of answers?
No.
Or you have to find the right test for you?
You do.
For what you're looking to solve?
You do. I've been trying to do an education campaign around the area of psychometric assessments, because also a lot of people use them for the wrong reasons. And an assessment is not valid if you use it for or interpret it in the manner it wasn't meant to be. So you can take an instrument that has all the research done and everything, but if you use it for something else, or if you don't give the results in the manner they were meant to be read, then it's not valid at all. So there's a whole breadth of them depending on what you want. Creating a psychometric assessment is not the fact that I will come and write down a few questions and I want to find out whether Olivia is bold and courageous. There are certain things I have to ask around that I've seen people who are truly bold and courageous do, and see how many of those things do you actually do. Then I can say, okay, on a percentile basis, she's probably 75, 60. It's a whole science. I could speak about it the whole time.
I love that it's a whole science.
Yeah.
Is life coaching a science, Vanessa?
I would say it's a balance between a science and you can look at it holistically as well, because there are 5 pillars that I incorporate into my company, and those 5 pillars are your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and also your social health. So there's a lot of moving parts, and I think that's the beauty of it, is that you're able to work with individuals like you as well, bring you on board to create a balanced life. You're not just looking at the mental part of it, which I feel psychology tends to do more of. And so that's why I prefer to go the life coaching route as opposed to just psychology, because you're able to bring in so many moving parts,
Can we unpack those 5 pillars and just give some definition to them, especially for those of us? Because the 3 of us seem to be psychologists in a way. So for those of us who are not psychologists, who haven't studied psychometric testing, psychology, life coaching, emotional intelligence, can we just unpack those 5 pillars and understand what they really are?
Yeah, so physical health is literally, how do I move my body? A lot of people, when we think about physical health, they think I got to work out every day and it has to be intensive. And that's not what I mean by that. It's more of, you can do yoga sessions that are 10 minutes long. It's how do I move my body? What works for me in a physical way? So that's what I mean by physical. When we talk about social, really important. It's, where is my cap? A lot of people say I'm an extrovert, but we all have caps to how much we can socialize, right? So what fuels me socially, and how do I balance that out with possibly my industry as well? If you're an event promoter, you're out all the time, but you still need to recharge. So how do I balance my social health? When it comes to now your mental health, it's things like mitigating anxiety. I come up with tools and ways for individuals to be able to balance and pay attention to their mental health. Does that mean I journal every day? Does that mean I have to plan my day the day before? Does it mean that I have to do EFT, which is emotional focus therapy? Does it mean I have to visualize? Those are things that I do a lot with my athletes, especially before competition. And then when it comes to emotional, I think you can also add to what I'm going to say, but it's a lot of understanding how to also respond to certain situations, and to be aware that, your social or your emotional cues might be different from mine. So how do I understand other people and not just think about me? How do I communicate my emotions more effectively so someone can understand I'm not crying because I'm upset. I might be crying because I'm angry, but people will take it as you're crying because you're upset, so it's uncovering those things as well. That's really important. And spiritual, some people are religious and some people are more spiritual, meaning believe in a higher power or the universe, and it's about using that as a strength. Even if you're not believing in something, it's what do I look for to give me some sort of peace as well, and using that constantly in your life, whether it's meditation, whether it's going to church, whatever it may be. How do I make this a part of my life and have time for the physical, the emotional, all of that? And so those are why I have those 5 pillars, because I believe you have to lay a foundation, and that is your foundation, and then you can add to it. Once you're, have a good balance with all those 5, you can add anything.
I'm going to try and find out where we're lacking with regards to those 5. But Vicky, help us unpack the definition of emotional intelligence, especially how it relates to EQ, because we used to hear a lot about EQ after IQ. Now it's EI. Break it down for us.
EQ suggests a number, suggests a quotient.
A winner. I'm winning at this emotional stuff.
I know.
I got an A.
That's Olivia. So moving it to EI is defining it more as a sort of skill and intelligence. And with everything, with cognitive ability, you can grow. You invest in reading, you learn more. You do a lot of math problems, you learn more. That's why when you finish school and you don't do math, you don't become stupid. It's just that you haven't practiced in a long while. So that's why it's EI. It's practice. You become aware of it. You become where your gaps are. You start learning new things. You start practicing new things. So we want you to understand it as such, not that thing. I'm a winner.
I'm a champion.
So, I have a higher EQ than yours. So therefore, I'm bound to be more successful in life than you are.
Vicky tested me, and it's fact. I'm just kidding.
So I like her pillars for 4 reasons. Okay, actually for 2 reasons. One, there is kind of a view to success as this thing that I absolutely will get and will have without thinking about the repercussions of success. The more you push to get somewhere, the more injuries, and I'll put them as you'll get so injured. You're chasing a goal. You don't have the correct skill set at that particular point. You have to learn that skill set. There's a lot of things happening. You fail consistently. You will cry. The emotional, the mental anguish is so much. So whenever I think about success, it's more along the lines of what's that social thing that you need? What's the emotional situation? What do you need in the emotional situation? Like she said, for me, I feel that gaps of it's either meditation or of reflection are so important when you're going on your journey, because they inform you of other areas. What's my emotional health like? What's my emotional state? What's my anxiety state? Why am I not working out, whatever that may be, as often as I should? Because I know it's good for me. And so I feel the realm of EI comes in to make it sustainable.
Yes.
Because you can be successful and, fall flat out. There's many people we find that really push, but not in any sustainable manner. So you end up sacrificing your physical health as well as your mental health, and at
Even
the end
family.
of the day, and your family. And I was just watching a clip where someone said, I would give it all up. I lost my wife. I lost, now I have my kids who I get once in a while, and I love them to bits now, and I now understand. But coaching comes in to show you the breadth of the things that what you're chasing is touching on, and give you that overall view and kind of prioritize, give you that, oh, okay, I'm actually looking at this, but there's this here for me and this other one, and I need to keep them all in check. Otherwise, at the end of all this, I'll be alone, miserable, checking into my diabetes clinic.
Yes.
Such things. It's true.
Yeah.
SpiceFM.